Good morning. I'm going to try doing something a little different today. Instead of sending you links to PowerPoints and worksheets, I'm going to do the Forensics 2 Topic 3 Serology Review Ditto that the majority of you have already sent back to me. I'm going to review it, go over it, make sure we have all the answers as correct. And I'm not sure how I'm going to proceed next week. Either move on to the next topic or have you take a test at home. I think taking a test at home is a little difficult. I'm hopeful that we'll be back in school in a few weeks. We can do another quick review for each of the topics that we've been learning about online and then test them out during our second half of the course. Second half of the course, it's half year course, so fourth quarter, second half for this. So if you can gather up your serology review ditto uh, or your notes that you took, some of you wrote them down on paper, which is fine. Any way that you can get me evidence that you did this, that's perfect. But put this on pause for a moment, go get your stuff, and then come back as quickly as you can, and you'll hear me review your responses. Right? I'll hold for 2 seconds while you hold. Okay, hopefully you're back. Starting with the matching section. Okay, question number one. It was D. It's the study and analysis of body fluids that includes blood, semen, urine, etc. Saliva as well. Sorry. Number two, antigen. That's letter F. It's a substance that's present on the surface of the cell that stimulates antibody productions. Antibodies are in the blood, and the antigens are on the surface of the red blood cells. Number three is J. That's antibody. Okay, it's a protein substance that is an immune response that reacts with and locks onto the antigen. Number four, agglutination. Okay, that's B. It's the clumping of red blood cells that occur when the wrong blood type are mixed. So if you mix blood type A with blood type B, the antigens don't behave properly, and it causes what we refer to as agglutination. Number five, angle of impact. That's H. It's the angle that the blood strikes a target surface during some sort of an assault. If an open wound is created with a blunt force instrument, the blood will squirt, splatter, or even not blunt force with a knife, stabbing bullet, blood will splatter. The way in which the blood hits can give information. There's a section of questions on that we'll deal with in a few minutes. Number six, blood stain transfer. That's letter G. It occurs when a bloody object comes into contact with the surface and leaves a patterned image on that surface. What that means is this. Say there was an outdoor crime scene, you walk through someone's blood. When you step after that, the pattern of the sneaker would be left behind with the blood. So it's the pattern of whatever got bloodied when it contacts something else. It'll leave that as evidence. Number seven, backsplatter. That's C. It's blood directed towards the source of energy that it comes from. So if I were here, standing here, and there was a target here, and I would shoot that gun, the bullet would hit, and then some of the blood would come back to me. That's backsplatter. And again, that's posted later on as well. Number eight, cast off. Let's say in the event that someone is using, say, a hammer or a mallet as a weapon, and then my target is here, right? They would strike this person, the instrument would become bloodied, and then they would go back. On the way back, they would actually create backsplatter, and then forward would be cast off. So backsplatter, cast off, backsplatter, cast off. Number 9, the Kastle-Meyer color test. No, that has nothing to do with me. The answer would be A. It's a presumptive test for blood that reacts with hemoglobin and turns deep pink when positive. Phenolphthalein and hydrogen peroxide are used in the Kastle-Meyer color test, and it'll turn a pink color if blood is present. It's a presumptive test. You're assuming that blood is present first, and you just want to, prove that it is blood. And number 10, the acid phosphate test, that's letter I. A protein substance, reading the wrong line. Letter I, a chemical test that tests for the enzyme that is present in high concentrations in semen. All right. On to the true false. There are a total of 3 human blood types. False, there's 4. A, B, O, and AB. 12. Red blood cells fight infection. False, it's the white. Number 13. Platelets are responsible for the clotting of blood. That is in fact true. 14. People with blood type O have no antigens on the surface of their blood cells. That's true. 15. The Rh factor is another antigen that can be found on the surface of a red blood cell and was originally discovered in racehorses. No, it was actually discovered in the rhesus monkey. Same person that discovered blood type. Number 16. Lines of convergence indicate the location of the victim when the blow was delivered. True. Okay, if they look at the path of the droplets of blood, remember there's a directionality depending on where they hit, and if they trace all those lines back, where they meet would have been where the victim was standing. Number 17, animal blood can be distinguished from human blood because animal red blood cells have a nucleus and human blood cells do not. That's true. Number 18, luminol reacts with hemoglobin and will fluoresce in a light blue light under UV if blood is present. That's true. Number 19, the Perceptum test is a confirmatory test for blood and requires the use of rabbit's blood. That's true. And number 20, blood drops become more rounded in appearance as the angle of impact decreases from 90 to 0. No, they become more elliptical. If it's a gravitational drop at 90 degrees to the surface, if the blood comes straight down, right, just like this, like straight down onto the surface, it's circular. As the angle of impact changes, the blood kind of rolls forward and creates a tail. At below 30 degrees is a very distinguishable tail that points the direction that the blood was traveling when it impacted the surface. All right. Number 21, the 4 components of blood. We have plasma, red cells, white cells, and platelets. Plasma is the liquid that supports and carries all these other 3 major components. The red blood cells carry oxygen. White blood cells fight disease, and the platelets create clotting in the blood. So if you cut yourself when it stops bleeding and you get that scab, that's the platelets. Number 22, I actually just mentioned this a moment ago, but at what angle will blood drops begin to produce that tail? 30 degrees. So if this is the surface, a 30-degree angle would be somewhat like this. And then once the blood hits at this angle, it'll kind of roll forward and produce that tail. And the tail will be this way. So if it came from this way, it was going this way. And then the tail will point continuing in that direction. All right. Why are the tails of blood important? Well, they show the direction that the blood was traveling in. Okay. What they refer to as a universal donor. Which type of blood can be given to anyone? Type O. Which blood type can receive all types? That would be AB. Okay. Distinguish between the 3 types of contact stains listed below. Blood stain transfers are usually patterned based on whatever pattern the object that contacted had. Cast-off splatter, it's thrown back from the object. Cast-off splatter thrown from the object, Back splatter, sprayed back in the direction of the source. Okay. You know what? These I think I'm gonna put them up. I have my whiteboard behind me, so I can show you this. All right. A woman with blood type BO marries a man with blood type O. Uh, they produce a child which has blood type AO. Is the child the husband's? Draw a Punnett square to show your work. All right. So Punnett square. You probably did these in biology. Okay. And we have O, O, and blood type B can be BB or BO. This person is BO. So if we look at the possible combinations, we could have a BO in two of them, and then OO in two of them. So the offspring would have a 50% chance of being BO and a 50% chance of being OO. Having blood type A from having O and BO donors is a 0% chance that child is not that husband's. And the last one, number 28, just let me clean my board. This is the work that you were supposed to show, by the way, when it said show the work. In this scenario, it's a woman with blood type AB marrying blood type O. So we draw another square. And then it's AB versus OO. So we have combinations of AO, BO, AO, and BO. This is another 50-50, right? 50% AO, 50% BO. Child is AO, and yes, it is likely that that child does belong to that father. All right. I hope majority of you guys are doing well. Pretty much, I think at this point in time, excuse me, everyone has gotten back to me with at least one of the assignments. A couple of people, actually one person, let me take that back. One person hasn't gotten back to me with any of the assignments. One person got back only with the serology quiz and didn't give me back the, what was the other one that I wanted back and I was grading them? The blood trails. Okay. So, you got to keep up. What's going to happen if you don't turn in any of the work? You're going to wind up not getting credit. As far as it stands now, if we're doing the work online, you show me evidence that you're getting the work and doing it, you'll receive credit for the school year. So, please keep current. Go on Edmodo every day. Do the assignments. The ones I, tell you to submit, please submit them. And you know what? It's not going to affect, anything for this current school year and your graduations going forward in the future. Okay? So have a great weekend. I'll either send you something or maybe make another video for you guys to watch on Monday. All right? Take care. Be well.